That is the perfect storm to create inflammatory chronic repair deficit conditions, to create suffering and chronic illness, and autoimmune self-attacking conditions.
Welcome to the Inspire Health Podcast. Your life is about to get a whole lot better. Have you ever felt like you tried everything and yet still couldn't find the answers or the solutions that you were seeking? Whether you're dealing with chronic illness, physical or emotional pain, I want you to know that your body is the most sophisticated machine on planet Earth. Your body holds unfathomable wisdom. Trust in it and learn from it. Know that there are answers and there are solutions to your specific health challenges. And we will be uncovering all of them here on the Inspire Health Podcast. I'm so excited to be a part of your healing journey. Your transformation starts now.
Before people get to the state of being in chronic illness and distress and being full of inflammation and whatnot, what are some of the markers, the predictive markers, tests that can be done that let people know where they're moving along that path? Because all too often, at least conventionally, people tend to show up when there's a big problem and now they're looking for usually a medication to try and abate that problem or suppress it or whichever. But how do you check things well before to know if you're on the right path or not? Because this is a big part that I talk a lot about, and I think this is a really important piece of things. This is what puts the power back into the patient's hands.
No, it surely does. There are 4 self-assessments and 8 predictive biomarkers that cover epigenetics. We reviewed 100,000 laboratory tests, and our goal was to find those tests that completely covered everything you can do with your habits of daily living to improve your quality of life. And that's what's called epigenetics. So we include hemoglobin A1C and high sensitivity C-reactive protein, HSCRP. We include homocysteine in the plasma. We include lymphocyte response assay. We include pH in the morning after rest. We include vitamin D levels. We include omega-3 index, and we include 8-oxoguanine, which is the most unusual one. It's a spot urine test of damage to your nucleus. And if you oxidize and damage your DNA, that's bad.
One thing too, I wanted to mention about, just get your feedback on the omega-3 index. So you're basically looking at ratios between omega-3 to 6. A lot of people are out of balance where they have way too many 6s, not enough 3s. So most people need to be getting their EPA, DHA.
And now look at my colleague Artemis Simopoulos and her work on the Greek Mediterranean diet, or her work on the National Health and Nutrition Survey called NHANES. Most Americans today, the most recent NHANES data, have 30 to 60 times more omega-6 than omega-3. That is the perfect storm to create inflammatory chronic repair deficit conditions, to create suffering and chronic illness, and autoimmune self-attacking conditions. We need deep water fish. It turns out that most of these are sardines or menhadrin. They're little tiny fish, but they grow in the deep cold water, and then they come up to do things called breeding, and then we can capture them, but don't take all of them because then they can't reproduce. But yes, we can get EPA, DHA distilled under nitrogen, which we have been micellizing for the last 25 years, so that people can rebalance their omega-3 to omega-6.
For the people out there that believe that they can get that fine if they are taking a plant source of omega-3s, that they will get enough of the balance of EPA, DHA to balance out an omega-3 to 6 ratio. So if they're having flax and hemp, what are your thoughts?
When you start with, quote, plant source, most people mean algae. And yes, from algae, you can get DHA. But the very people who need EPA and DHA need both. And the only way to get both is from fish oil. But that fish oil must be distilled under nitrogen to remove the bad stuff, the toxic matter, and to concentrate the good stuff, the EPA and DHA. And yes, I know in a perfectly healthy person that ALA can be converted through certain enzyme systems into EPA and then DHA. And I'm here to tell you, as a clinician, as well as a biochemist, those are very delicate enzyme systems that in most 21st century people are poisoned. So You need DHA for brain and body. You need EPA for body and brain. You need both EPA and DHA. You can't just take algae.